You're live,
Yeah, ask me another question. That would be what I would say.
Listen, this will be
Oh, yeah.
it has a list.
Yeah.
But everything else shows 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I wish I would too, but then I don't. I don't really do it at home. Yeah, exactly. Something's gonna be releasing for a while. Especially for or I hear it better.
Feel better on how it works.
Good evening, and welcome. This is the first meeting ever of the Electroacoustical Poetical Society in person. We've all met online, the group of us, and ORTET is joining us tonight for this special first ever meeting here in Bloomington, Indiana, of all places. Marjorie Van Halteren is joining us all the way from France. Originally and she's originally from, you're originally from Detroit, right?
Yeah, Michigan.
Michigan, yeah. She's been in France for a long time. So
30 years.
30 years, yeah. She's joining us tonight, and also joining us all the way from Plainfield. Flew in from Plainfield, Indiana. Brian Price, who's some writers do things, and I'm TonyBrewer, and I'm also part of the Electroacoustical Poetical Society, which was an online collective of people that Marjorie curated, and we gave her pieces, and she turned it into this podcast of electroacoustical poetical material. Joining us tonight, special guests tonight, Marty Belcher, Chris Rawl, and Norbert Herber from they're kind of going to be our house band tonight, playing some of the interstitial things and playing along with Marjorie and playing along with me at some points too. And I want to give a shout out to Kyle Kloss, who is stepping up to do our live stream tonight. We are streaming live. And I got a quick list of thank yous because we are funded in part by, let's see, the Bloomington Arts Commission. And this should be the first thing comes up because it's happening right now. There we go. Let's see. So we are sponsored in part by the Writers Guild of Bloomington. This is actually part of the Urban Deer Performance Series, Urban Deer Record Company, National Audio Theater Festivals, Indiana Arts Commission, the Bloomington Arts Commission, and the Bloomington Urban Enterprise Association. Those are all of our co-sponsors tonight that have helped to make this possible. And you, of course, for coming out for this amalgam of spoken word and music and sound effects and sound design and whatnot. And I have to mention too, tomorrow we're going to do a workshop in the sense that we're going to talk shop and we're going to do a little work back here at 6 o'clock. Marjorie, Brian, and myself. I think Marty is going to be here. I think Rich Fish is going to be here. If you have an instrument, come bring your instrument. If you have a piece of writing that you want to work with, putting text and spoken word together with music and audio, sound effects, sound, whatever, something that's beyond, because that's essentially, that's electroacoustic. Electroacoustic is essentially you're taking a thing and turning it into art, music, turning it into something that, you know, something that has, if you hit it once, it's just a sound. If you hit it twice, that's rhythm. There's a thing. So many more nuggets of wisdom like that tomorrow for much more,
No. Not much more.
well, not much more, yeah, but longer. So that's enough out of me. We're gonna, the first person I'll bring up, and I'll go ahead and read your bio just to give people an idea. That was ORTET. ORTET played for 10 minutes, and what we're gonna do now is Brian's gonna come up and he's gonna do his set, and then I'm gonna come up after and do my set, and ORTET's gonna join me for part of my set, and then we're gonna take a little break, and then ORTET will kind of bring us back into the room again for another piece, and then Marjorie will do her thing, and ORTET will join her for, I think, for all of your things. I think
Yeah,
yeah, be your backup band for the whole thing. And then we're gonna do what we like to do when we do these shows. We're gonna do the scrum at the end where how many of us are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all 6 of us are gonna get up and make it all happen at the same time. So that's gonna be fantastic. And get your hopes up, because we're gonna surpass them. So, Brian Price is a writer, director, and audio producer. He has worked in radio and audio publishing since the 1980s, working with groups such as the Iowa Radio Project, the Gristmill Horror Series, Native Voices at the Autry, and the National Audio Theater Festivals. His short comic skits, plays, and monologues have been performed by community groups across the country, and 2 of his plays have been translated into Croatian and Chinese. He is a founding partner of Great Northern Audio Theater, which created and produced 20 years of live mark-time radio shows for Minnesota's Convergence Science Fiction Convention. Their feature-length In the Embers received an APA Audio Award for Best Audio Drama in 2017. He's published 2 books of short fiction, monologues, and poetry, The Old Cart Wrangler, The New Science and Other Notions in 2020, and The Wrong Side of the River and Other Points of Interest in 2022. He has some concerns about the general future of mankind and often gets paid in t-shirts and gimme hats for his time. And he is a member in good standing of the Electroacoustic Poetical Society. Please welcome Brian Price.
Hi, thank you so much. Are we up? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to sort of do a arc here start easily and start acoustically by just the voice. So I'm going to read a piece called The Old Cart Wrangler that was originally, I'm a playwright and started wrote for voices. I was thinking, and so this was written with David Osmond of the Firesign Theatre in mind, and written about 15 years ago when he was getting to be the age of the old cart wrangler. Now I'm beginning to become the age of the old cart wrangler. I'm not sure if I'm happy about that, but we'll try this. When I came to the Mart, I was 75 years old. At the time, I hadn't expected to go back to work, but I'd purchased some bad stocks, drank a little more than I should. Betty died. And my neighbor, Fred, he said, "You ought to go to work at the Mart. It ain't hard, and it gets you out of the house." I went down there and I told him I didn't want any indoor job. I didn't want nothing to do with being a toothless greeter, smiling and putting stickers on things. I wanted to be outside. I didn't mind. I didn't care about the weather. I wanted to be a cart wrangler. Now, management didn't think I'd be able to keep up. Keep up with what? I can push a shopping cart. I can push a row of shopping carts just as good as any kid. As a matter of fact, I taught those high school kids a few things, a few tricks. How to balance and ride a cart around the corner. How to make sure a bent basket doesn't get caught in the middle of a row. how to bend back a bent wheel. Do it my way, you have time for a smoke. Now, out of the corner of my eye, even on that first day, I noticed there was one cart that didn't nestle in with the rest. You chase it down, you roll it on over, you line it up, and the next thing you knew, that cart would be just a little ways off, sitting next to the drinking fountain. Next time you look, it'd be out in the parking lot, squeezed between a minivan and an SUV. That was cart 437. Now, it didn't take me long to get a little bit of a reputation to Mark. I was the guy who would go ways out of his way to get that last cart. Now, most Mart employees, they wouldn't bother. They just wanted to go home and get their ears pierced and their butts tattooed. But if there was a cart out there, I was going to go in it. I was going to go get it. I was going to bring it in. I'd be the guy who pushed 2 or 3 wayward carts back across the dirt path of the vacant lot next to the Kentucky Fried. Their little wheels catching and dragging. I'd be the one to bother to check out by the dumpsters. And I'd be the guy who'd hike all the way up past the last light pole and make sure no carts were missing. More often than not, I'd find cart 437 out there, out by the curb, facing west towards the interstate. Come on, 437. I think, now come on. And I'd gently pull and I'd turn her around and I'd push her back across the lot and park her squeezed in the middle of a road between a number of sleeping carts. That'll keep you out of trouble. Next morning, cart 437 would be out in the garden shop next to a plastic wheelbarrow facing west. Now, Dell, the assistant night manager, aren't they always named Dell? He said he'd been watching me and he liked my work. And I could look forward to a 5-cent per hour raise over in the next 6 months. Now, I did the calculation. That's 40 cents over an 8-hour day. That is big bucks, if it's 1932. Of course, the Mart never hardly had to hand out those big raises. Most cart wranglers, they only, that lasted 2-3 months. But me, it wasn't about the money. I was prepared to hang on as long as it took. Now in the spring, I caught up with cart 437 over by the Hy-Vee grocery store, Kroger around here. Our parking lot connected with theirs. A number of the carts were pushed into the drainage ditches and shoved into the bushes along the side of the road. And I found out that the bag boys and some of the produce kids were stealing our carts, joyriding them and abusing the carts. I went over there on my own time. I didn't care if I got paid. I didn't want to make a fuss. But me and the manager at Kroger, we had words. He said he didn't think it was any big deal. Kids playing with the Mart's carts. Boys will be boys. He didn't think they meant nothing by it. And I said, rustling is rustling, pure and simple. What was he going to do about it? He shrugged his shoulders. He smirked. Like a political operative smirks. Like fake mogul smirk. Like Ever Nero, the original, the first smirker probably smirked. I don't have time for smirkers. Now, I'm not a violent man, but I pulled out the pellet gun, I got it out of sporting goods, and I shot the Coke machine right next to that manager. Just to prove the point. Now, a few nights later, I was bringing a long line of carts from around the pharmacy entrance. And Dell, if they're not named Dell, they're probably named Don. He said, could he have a word? And I said, well, I was busy. What do you need? He said, well, he wanted to give me a piece of advice. So this pasty, overweight, 28-year-old balding child with a logo of a 2-bit rock band tattooed to its forearm was going to give me some advice. Don't take this job so serious, he said. I said, son, listen to me carefully. I take everything serious. I was thinking about cart 437. It had rolled somehow uphill, around the corner, across the street from the south exit. That's a quarter mile, as the crow flies. Didn't take a brain surgeon to figure out cart 437 was thinking about making a break. Now Dale said he thought it might rain, and did I know there was an opening for greeters? I said I didn't know nothing about that. I went back to the seasonal department, I grabbed a banana and a raincoat, and I started to head out. And I got held up once again by Dell, asking me if I had heard anything about a Coke machine being shot with a bullet in it. I said I hadn't heard anything about that either. And then he made me sweep aisle 9. Then I went out after cart 437. It's been 6 days. Finally caught up with 437 at Gas and Go next to the strip mall in Little West of Easton. At first I thought 437 must have gone out on the highway somehow, rolling along the emergency lanes of the interstate just to get this far out. But then I realized that the parking lot is like an unbroken inland sea, from the mart to the malls to the mega malls, spreading like fjords from the strip malls across the Great Plains. You can get any way you want by going nowhere. Well, I lean on somebody's Ford for a moment, light up a Marlboro, flick the match into an oil stain on my feet. I figured this parking lot might just go all the way around the world. I got cart 437 loaded up with Little Debbie's and beer, the essentials. I got an extra shirt. And I figured, well, we're going to have to come back around to the mart eventually. But it's a cloudless day, and we might just take the long way around. Marjorie come up here so she can push some buttons and do some theater with us. Let's see. I got to turn on all the. Now this gets towards the electrical part of the electroacoustical, where we start turning on
The magic of electricity.
Just eeps, you say eeps.
Eeps.
And so it's got a, there's, the amount of wire in this place is amazing. This piece is called Counting. This is a piece that was featured last summer.
Yeah, our last, yeah,
Eeps.
in the eeps.
Yeah. So you push the button now.
It's pushed.
$828. That's what my maternal grandfather would have said. He counted everything. Steps, seconds, money, and months. That was my grandfather's little party trick. He'd say he met my grandmother in Grand Rapids, Michigan, sometime in 1922. Probably at church. They got married on June 18th, 1925. They've been married for 828 months, or 4,992 weeks, or 35,040 days, or 840,960 minutes. Now, of course, you're going to want to know the seconds. That's 50,457,600 seconds. You do the math, that's 69 years. My grandparents were married 69 years. My grandmother would roll her eyes and smile. My grandfather thought he knew time, but she knew time. She knew when things were due. She'd been a librarian. I knew time. I knew it like an itch. Now, some say time is a runner. Some say time is a dump truck full of gravel sliding out. Some say time is a string of pearls around an old lady's neck. Some say time is a conveyor belt between distant galaxies. Others say time is a drip from a tap in a sink in a kitchen that won't quite turn off. My mother said time was a rainbow unraveling. I was from a family of counters. Beads, stones, sand, seconds. My mother was a time lord. She got out ahead of time. She beat time to where time wanted to be. She could control time, but she couldn't stop it. You see, she had so little of it. Time was a countdown to getting home, to supper, to bed, to death. She didn't have to say, don't be late. That was an impossibility. I itched. But don't be late. Even when I was 3 years old, even when I was 5 years old, I itched. I was never late. My mother counted the drips, the pills, the drawn blood, the trips to the specialist. She knew it wasn't counting, but a countdown. Somehow I knew that too. Most little kids didn't know anything about time. Good for them, it was a blessing. My little friend Richard, he didn't know anything about time. He just drove his Matchbox cars in the dirt and buried his army men in the sand. He followed me to school saying, wait up, wait up, wait up. When I was 7, I decided to save my mother. Don't all 7-year-olds want to save their mother? I was going to stop time. I was going to cheat it. I was going to trick it. I was going to put it in a box and throw it off a cliff. And my mother called me in for supper. Then, once I spilled time, like it was water or dust. Hours slid between the cracks. Minutes evaporated in the dry sand. The seconds stuck to the bottom of my shoe. It was a summer day. Once I tried to get away from time. I said, time, I'm going to go out for a bit. You want anything at the store? Time didn't answer. I opened the door really quiet. I snuck I thought I was being really quiet. Time was already at the store when I got there. Now in high school, I went to an alternative high school. It was a hippie school. It was a wonderful, wonderful place. They ignored time. It was amazing. How could they ignore time? Classes at 8 didn't begin until 8:15 or 8:30. Arrival, the act of arriving, was optional. The hardest thing I had to learn at hippie school was how to be late. So I cheated. I never told my mother this, but I would leave as usual from the house at 7:30 in the morning. And even if I didn't have a class until 10, which of course would have actually not started until 10:10 when the teacher arrived. And then when the students didn't arrive until 10:20, it drove me nuts. It all drove me, my itch nuts. So I had to bide my time. I would walk to school by walking by the school. Just walk on by. I'd give it a glance, and then I'd go up to Glebe Road, over to Fairfax Drive, cross the Playmore Bowling Alley parking lot, cut through the no man's land of urban renewal, and follow the old railroad track by the park. Shoot baskets with a flat soccer ball, read a book, read the newest graffiti. Think about carving my initials in the picnic bench, but that would have been vandalism. I thought about vandalizing time. Still, I was never late. I'd be right there at 10 of 10, maybe 10 of 9. I'd help Billy the janitor empty the trash. There was a trash can in the secretary's office full of little paper punches from paper that had been punched. They looked like seconds left to die on the floor. Once my mother thought time was pretty, like a pointillist painting in the sky, where every dot was a moment. But now all she heard was drips from a faucet in a faraway sink. She knew it was time. She knew it was getting further and further away from her. Every second dropped from the lip of the faucet and fell, not into a cup, not into a dirty plate. Every drop fell 1,000 feet. It fell forever into the darkness. Each drip would glitter and then disappear. Glitter and then disappear. Glitter and then disappear. Well, I'd had enough of time. I wanted to kill it. I was going to waste it. I was going to waste all the time away. So I came home drunk once, well, twice, well, maybe more. My mother would say, "Do you know what time it is?" No, I'd say, but of course I knew what time it was. I waited to outside the back door until 5 after midnight, which was my curfew, just to hurt my mother, just to hurt time, but it hurt me just as much, being the son of a Time Lord and all. My mother made me clean the toilet, beads, stones, sand, seconds. One of the last things my mother said to me was, "I'd like to have grandchildren someday. I'm not getting any younger." And I said, "Mom, I'm only 17. She said, "Yeah, well," and she smiled. Beads, stones, sand, seconds. My mother was on time for her own death. Time didn't kill her. Some disease did that. But time just stood by and watched. She was only 49. I thought time would slow down after that. I thought time would just stop. I thought time would leave me alone. But the drips only got louder, and they sounded like they were landing on broken glass. So I figured I'd better get a job. Do something with my life. Get serious. So I applied for a position down at the Time Reformation Verification Certification Center, the TRVCC. You all know the TRVCC, right? Their motto is, "We keep time." What? You keep it safe, you keep it under a rug, you keep time like a pet? That's what my mother used to say. She never had any time for the TRVCC. She said they didn't get time. They just counted it. You don't keep time, my mother said. It keeps you. Well, I got the job. They made me an assistant calculation associate in the waste division of the reclamation department. We were supposed to reintegrate lost time into the master time continuum. I didn't even have to interview. They found out I was the son of a Time Lord, and I was in. They said I had potential. They thought I could manage time. 119,246, 119,247, 119,248, 119,200.
You skipped one. Start again.
Start again.
Yes, start again.
From the beginning, from like a billion years ago?
No, just from yesterday at 5 a.m.
Oh, okay. 800, 801, 802, 803, 805, 806, 807.
You skipped 2. Start again.
Well, you see, the problem was I was really, really bad at keeping time. That was awful. I got fired.
You're fired.
But that's okay. They didn't realize that what I was truly doing. I was practicing unweaving, unraveling time. The moments, they'll tangle and they'll float on stagnant waters. They'll spill and they'll spin counterclockwise. It might take 1,000 years, or 12,000 months, or 365,000 days, not counting leap years, or 8,760,000 hours. But somewhere along the line, 1 second, just one little second will fail and fall, and time will stumble. The counting will stop, just for 1 second, one ruined second. I am the time vandal. I hate time. I have had enough of time. I am sick of time. Now, of course, I am told that without time, this will happen. You and me and everyone will arrive in the same city, on the same planet, on the same corner of the same street, at the same moment, and step off the same curb in front of the same bus. See you then.
Too noisy for just walking around.
Good meeting, everyone.
Let's see, once There we go. Once again, a hand for Brian Bryce. From Marjorie and Halteren. We'll hear more from her.
That was like
in a little bit.
nothing.
Okay, now it's time for my bit, and I'm going to do three things. I'm going to do first. I'm going to do they're coming back this year, but there's two of them. There's two broods that are coming this year. They come every year, but there's two special broods that are coming this year. This year it's the 10 and the 13 year cicadas that are coming. And when I wrote this, the year that I wrote this was 2004, when the 10 year and the 17 year cicadas emerged at the same time, and it was really, really bad. I don't know if you remember. Who remembers 2004?
Brewer X.
Fantastic, you were all here. Yeah, Brewer X. Yeah. Yeah, like they had to close down parts of I-70 around Cincinnati because they were so thick that semis couldn't drive through them. It was really awful. It was like I remember being at a friend's house on the east side of Bloomington, and people were running down the street because they were in their hair, and dogs were snapping them out of the air and vomiting them up in the yard because it was an amazing time to be alive. So I wrote especially if you're a cicada. It was especially magical if you're a cicada. And so I wrote a piece for the 17 year and the 10 year cicadas, and this is a song for them called Cicada Blues, chorus 10 and 17. Ooh, love to love you, baby. Ooh, love to love you, baby. Ooh, love to love you, baby. I will come back for you, baby. Maybe 17 years from tonight, but I will come for you. Up from the ground through a hole this big, and I'll crawl. I'll crawl across the lawn, baby. Drag my freshly hatched ass over sidewalks and quiet city streets just to get you to come to me. I'll climb the most convenient tree I find and shed this hard, crusty exterior and back out of my pupil state. And when I'm dry and strong enough and I unfurl my clear wings, I will call to you, call to you, call to you, call to you, call to you. And I hope you'll hear me among the million brothers in this humble acre alone, vying for your attention, and that you'll come to me. Come to me now, baby. Please don't make my soul wait on the cold ground another 17 long years. Come land on my beach branch and we'll make sweet butt-to-butt love and place our progeny within the spent sapling soil pulp under a heavy haze of June on a long lost Indiana afternoon. And then together we'll die. Ooh, love to love you, baby. Ooh, love to love you, baby. For my next trick, we tried this out at rehearsal, and this was by plan, a little planned improvisation where how I typically do spoken word stuff with ORTET. I haven't quite risen to the level of doing live readings. I think I'll get there. So far, what I've been doing is I record myself and then slide a recording to the band, and then it shows up in a session, usually without any prompting. Usually just like it just shows up in a session. And so for tonight, for the first ever in-person meeting of the Electroacoustic Poetical Society, it's going to be dealer's choice. So we haven't planned this. We kind of tried it on Sunday, but it was dealer's choice then. Chris is just going to pick a track at random, and he's going to take the line on turntable. He's going to kind of take the lead on turntable, and we're all going to join in.
One of those stress dreams. where hecklers transmogrify into serious critics who have read everything closer than I do. One of those stress dreams. One of those stress dreams where hecklers transmogrify into serious critics who have read everything closer than I do. And have funded research-backed opinions on how I am doing it all wrong. And have funded research. Opinions on how I am doing it all wrong. Good or bad, good or bad. Do not fear. Say elbow patches, Buddy Holly's perched on 5 heads.
Yep. Buddy Holly's perched on 5 heads.
Local, shiny.
Caps, buttons, and shiny painted nail.
Fuck.
Echo, Echo, life choices made in my opposite direction, Echo, life choices made in the opposite direction. Echo, life choices made in the opposite direction. Okay.
Okay. Now we have taken each other down a notch. They're right, I hear. I suggest we reach consensus or I'll never finish this reading.
I suggest we reach consensus or I'll never finish this reading. Say whatever bad things they've heard are true. Or true enough. Or interesting.
And the floor opens up like a mouth.
And the floor opens up like a mouth.
And the floor opens up like a mouth. Floorboard teeth.
I fall sliding into the mighty Jordan. We tumble, splash each other playfully with IPA.
I am in a muddy camp of hobos discussing mortgage-backed derivatives in my backyard.
And I know they have always been here.
Like you do in dreams.
I do not know anyone.
They offer a hay bale by the trash fire.
We're eating that one stray. Compare watches. I'm wearing Dad's wind-up from the 70s. I trade it for a dirty digital, nostalgia-less, style pointless. We are all gumption and integrity out here.
Under eternal alley security halogens, no surveillance cams yet. 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 Yet.
But the birds act mechanical. Now here, the bits are so real, it starts to feel like a memory of a spotlight. I kick blankets off, like to finish strong after muddling of new works and shorter, darker, less fun pieces, drawing ears close like whispers.
Someone laughs loud, not at me.
Not at me. I pull out a journal from the late 90s,
Early aughts.
it is crumbling in my hands. Turn to a page of random, surprised at how lucid life was. Full and mindful. And they know all that. Of course, they have studied it.
In fact, coax a paycheck
Out of convincing others to study it. Why they came to confront me in my natural habitat. They know. I know. We're all just brimming with exclusivity. In my natural habitat. They know. I know.
We're all just brimming with exclusivity.
I kick at sheets, trying to walk off
And wake up.
I kick at sheets, trying to walk off
And wake up.
or kick at sheets, trying to walk off and wake up.
I kick at sheets.
I kick at sheets, trying to walk off, trying to walk off, trying to walk off, trying to walk off, and wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Thank you. So I'm gonna do one more piece, and this will be a solo thing that I've never performed for anyone other than my cat. So we'll see how this goes.
She loved it.
Yes, no complaints. In just a moment to reset here. And this was for disappearance. This was for the last EAPS. The last EAPS thing, and this was inspired by actually wrote it in Quebec, which you'll hear all about it in the piece. So don't really need to say anything more. It's called One and Done.
I fell asleep at a Walmart parking lot near the border, waiting for direction. Woke up on a work crew of relations rebuilding a deck in Quebec. Where I came from, veiled in your smoke. Can't see, but feel its presence. The fires aren't dying, so we keep it simple with hammers, tearing out old joists where pests have hollowed out the center of buildings. The entire structure, weak and wobbly, but you can still stand on and have cocktails at moonset. There it is, rising over the trees. Sinking behind the trees, there it goes. Old, green, slippery, crumbling faith kept 5 feet off the ground. 40 years, 50 years. Obvious rot where we tear at it. Mist on the lake, moving like smoke. 4 supermoons in a year. Mesmerizing frog song, the whale, the sacred loon. The woodpecker so bored he's turned his attention to aluminum. Tell me the difference. I'll open the airlock. share this supply. We'll ride out Reconstruction together. 80 years later, not an end, an ending. Let's imagine instead of the same old grim dark, this one proud nation with a long tail, projected like different loving, strong as pride, stronger than the realistic portrayals of the dropping of bombs. Here's one from 80 years ago, with added sound effects for gravitas. Contrails clear as cut marks. Blue eyes crying in rain. Beautiful, beautiful weaponry. We've all been there. The trick is to get out without disappearing completely. But get out. We did not get here overnight. Acquiring something to protect and swing a hammer so many times the ring sounds out J, O, B. No permanent vacation. Just the skill of relaxing, bored into hustle. It hurts to sleep, hurts to eat the lovely animals. Hurts me all the way back to the first meal, puree, sweet. I take out my hearing aids and put in my night teeth and gulp it down. Young again anytime I want, because old is forbidden. It sounds like ice cracking at a point, while ice melting just disappears. Somewhere in there, make room for dancing, taking up youth and doom, smallest fortunes wasted getting there, back to what already disappeared. drifting, every little tadpole in the shallows. Remember the days gone lead into gold? I don't. Remember when sky was a pillar the universe danced around? I do. Remember me? Remember me? I cannot go. Call it one end, one foreseen future, one and done. Rock solid, work over. Back at a border, invisible and open. I walk away through veils of smoke, strange worker on a family crew, enlightened like a halo supermoon, filled with bilingual nods. 80 years later, destined to fade as melancholy as moonlight. Heavy on a lake.
Thank you. We're gonna take a short break. We're gonna take a short break, have some more snacks out yonder, and have a drink, and come back, and we'll finish up with Marjorie Van Halteren. Thank you so much.
Person running F1 cars. watching F1 in front of rain. It did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's just so the record.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That is so cool.
You want to airplane it down there? Yeah. I ordered it, it just came in. I wouldn't pick it up. Because I got this telephone call. So you got it to him before? No, I didn't. Yeah, I'm taking my time. There's sections I have to kind of really don't like, and there's sections where it's brilliant. I'm like, yeah, we just, I don't know. A lot of questions, and this guy is saying, he said, I know. I can see where you're cherry picks all the best stuff. Yeah, it was fun.
No, yo no creo que pueda hacer. So they want to optimize. But you just have 1 week. Yeah. So this is I don't know what it means. Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. Last time you were here, but,
Very well.
yeah, we'll figure it out. We enjoyed the time about the people. The people thing.
Yes.
Also, your cat should have told you sooner.
Well, I mean, it's a cat. Nothing good. Except that.
Very symbiotic, admirable cat.
She actually, the recording that I made, she was on the recording. She walked up to contact her. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna do those.
I didn't know it was good, so.
No, not tonight. Yeah, when I said, I recorded this. One shot.
Oh, yeah. Hard developed vocals.
Yeah.
So you're doing audio as well as spoken word.
What was it telling you?
It's sounding pretty good.
I mean, that was obviously.
There are some moments where like hearing the words was and the overall quality was not the same. I think there's an additional layer that I don't know how to address. That's audibility, the adaptation of words relative to sound is more complicated. Music is you have to be able to hear all the words.
We have to rethink everything.
Any way you could just be in a circle anyways. Convention to perform.
I would be in the middle if you want.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking, but that would be fun too. You'd be further apart. You'd be further apart, so the mimic actually might be fun.
Yeah. We did some live sound tracks. We were buying, we were attached to the garage, and one of us was on one wall, and one of us was on the wall. And couldn't hear each other. Started to party, filled up. We couldn't hear each other. Everyone in the room could hear us because we each had our own speakers. We couldn't hear each other. Watching stuff on the wall.
Are you open for hearing a comparison of someone you remind me of?
Sure.
Lori and Bridget. Lori, so as I was listening, I was like, I wonder what that likes playing.
Okay, yeah, I mean, she's,
Yeah. I need the sound,
yeah, me too. Did you see her during lockdown? She was doing those Harvard lectures. Did you hear about them? Did you see those? They're probably still online. She was doing this, she was doing Zoom lectures. Where she's standing in front of the green screen and doing her thing that she does with her tape bow, all kinds of crazy stuff. And it was all, she was doing it live, and it was all, she had like made it for Zoom. It wasn't just something that she had done. She crafted like four presenters. You know, it was all about technology and communication and other stuff. Content-wise, that's what it's about, the production, the creative. And just, you know, both
They can.
Somebody told you, you actually drove on those things. You know, I never heard of that.
So are you doing a little tour in the States?
Well, I came to visit my mother in Michigan.
Okay.
We're missionaries outside Detroit, Birmingham, Michigan. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Rochester Hills.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We both have the state.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Went to Quebec about 100 years ago.
Yeah, same, I guess. We graduated in 87.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been in France for a while.
Since 96. Yeah, I, just, I'm retired now, but I taught for a long time. I just ended up there living in north of France, which is not the part of the people know.
Is it a rural town?
No, I live in Lille, which is, on the TGV, it's, an hour to Paris, Charles. And, it's home now, I've been so long.
What drew you to that?
Oh, man. I was living north, I was a radio producer, and I was there at the time, and my husband and I wanted to move to France, it's in Spain. Ended up there. And now I'm here. I worked there, career there, teaching, and slowly went from being a radio producer to being a musician. It's a very long, very, very long process of evolving towards something very different.
Something where you're measured.
Yeah. Are you musicians right now?
No, artist, dabble in art, and
Oh, this is such a fine town.
It is a fun
Great
town.
place to live. Oh.
were you fluent in French before you moved? Or?
I would not say that. I took French in school like everybody else, and more than that, I just talking French in university, graduate school, and it didn't stick really until I had to go through the process of actually looking at it. People say, who's your French teacher? I say, my banker, the man who comes to my house, the car dealer, the doctor, Yeah, it's just a version. That's right, and then kind of just have to be. Yeah, yeah.
A real guy.
It feels natural.
Do you like French filmmakers? French film?
Absolutely. In fact, and that's happening. I really like to see French movies. I love movies in English, but there's something about it that I think we can now because I can understand them. And I like to read it in French, which is something I can do.
Do you have some favorite French filmmakers?
We're all kind of interested in Varda. I don't think I'm very, very knowledgeable about the museum. I think I need to know more. I really enjoy the very French film that just shows people being French in their lives. Because it's like I recognize the people and their silly way of talking and being, it's silly. They're all domestic, they're all mad. But I like to enjoy the language in the natural setting. That I enjoy. If anything, it's still in my region. It's done. I know Dunkirk really well. That's where you're from. So it was really fun to see. Oh, yeah, I know that's Swedish. Yeah, that was fun. They just went up there and did it.
You see a fair amount of French film.
You do? Who are your favorites?
Like Olivier Assayas.
Oh, yes, sure.
Francois Ozon.
Yeah. Do you like to listen to, have subtitles in French as well, or do you?
I don't read French or
Yeah, sure.
understand French. So,
I
yeah,
understand.
so they, we send this.
I understand, what I like to do is some subtitles in French. What I really hate is anything dubbed. I can't stand it.
I know.
If I go and I go, oh, right, I see this movie, and I turn it on, it's like, oh, it's dubbed in French. And I don't like to do this subtitles here with French because they see that I start criticizing them.
Yeah.
I like to see the subtitles in French. And I read it and listen to it.
How did you think it with Tony?
Oh, man, well, I used to come, and I lived in New York, and also I used to come to the National Audio. It was called Public Radio. So I lived in Florida. I used to direct plays, but I was a radio drama director in New York, and I used to go to Marjorie, and I turned out NATF. I went there once, NATF, and I was there. And Tony opened with his poetry. Yeah, yeah. What I did the poetry table with the poetry. That that's well, what I would say about it is that I believe that in every world there are people making weird sounds, hitting balls. The thing about it, if you liked it, it is always other people. It's almost like being in church, because they listen very, and that's what I really enjoy. I love being in those kind of places. And the more you get into it, the more you like it. I mean, when I was young, I would not.
You don't always have to understand it.
No, I would have thought, what is going on?
We just did, yeah.
Hi.
John and Jennifer.
Are you professors or?
I opened the cinema here on campus.
Oh.
We brought
Oh, yes. Very, very important.
Probably the first and last time I had him was during the
Oh, right.
It was in the fun.
It's like when you have a video on Instagram, I love seeing him. Now, don't worry, this is a video that they would not be able to consider. It's all right. It's all right. That's very
Well, now they tour around the country, either tiny bus.
No, you heard it. That's cool. That's
Don't let him sell his own shorts.
yeah, I mean, it's a town full of interesting people.
Oh, I imagine, absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have one of we have a cinema in Field that is an art cinema. There's a big petition going, they want to turn it into. We have a couple of small ones that have usually programming. It's so important now.
It's not great. I mean, Brian, I'm gonna make, I don't know, any comment in the end, your first piece, so cinematic, would make a great West End story. It would make a, it would make a, your first piece, it would make a great West End story. It's really cinematic.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, yeah, because this is a G.
Right.
So, yeah, I'd like to have, I'd like to.
oh, wow.
You also put water.
But I was thinking,
That's supposed to, I'm not sure why, but we're supposed to keep the old blues guys would have them soaking in water. I think it's to keep the reeds flexible.
Oh, my God. I started playing with this one on pictures of the spring chicken.
oh, so logic.
That's a whole nother topic. All right, then.
Well, I'm glad you were able to make it back. I stood out in front of the place, the door locked, banged it for about a half hour.
Oh, God.
Well, but that was made perfectly clear once we found out that there was, the door was locked all the time. Well, your situation was terrible. The one word you had was hospital.
Oh, that.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It wasn't even that. I didn't even So obviously that's work.
Well, that was a very good thing.
Yes, and they said, no, it is.
Anyway, so.
Yes, I made it. Thank you. So.
That's it. So your semester ends and
I know, which is, I mean, that part of it. This side.
that was the,
Yeah, because I.
Sure.
you could at least not.
I don't want to, yes, right, I don't want to.
Were folks from Quincy there?
Trying to figure out this.
Yes, yeah.
Set up here.
You got mental issues that wrote that.
Yeah.
It was an intense week. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes, okay, kind of thing. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you tell me.
That wasn't the most intense thing I've ever experienced. No, I think actually the most intense thing I ever experienced. The second semester I was here, I was having sponsors, the students who go to the used to have to do it through kind of design individualized measurement. So the sponsor had a student that was he had been downtown, looking at every piece of and then when they found out that we had all of these tickets or something. That was the most intense. Oh, it is.
Do you want me to introduce you, or do you want to just
No, I'll just,
introduce yourself?
I will. Okay, so this has really been fun, and now I'm going to do two very short pieces and one a little bit longer. And I'd just like to say that I do live in France. I've lived there since 1992. But before I lived in France, I spent the first half of my adulthood in New York City. And I'm really a New Yorker at heart. I'm a typical New Yorker. I wasn't born there. I was born in Michigan, and that was where I had to live. I loved living there, and I started living there during like what you'd call the Scorsese 70s, when it was really dirty and scary, but somehow not. And I paid $250 a month for an apartment at right above Lincoln Center. And I was young and stupid, and didn't know what I was doing. And so I think of it as the city that made me, And so somehow I got this idea that coming here, that I would follow through on that theme, that I would do 2 New York poems. And then I wrote a new one. It's called Then Came Brooklyn. And I wrote it in such a way that the musicians could fully participate. So in fact, I don't have a lot of sound that I've brought. It's mostly just voice, because I'm going to enjoy the participation of ORTET, and that's it. All right. So you guys, I think, start off a little bit for me with the first one. And I get home. I kick off the high heels. I make some money, but my mind reels. TV dinner meltdown. I'm swallowing air. Head and heart in need of repair. I'm starving. I'm scurvy. I'm thinking about Jack. I want to sleep with Jack near the railroad track. The thing is that I'm hungry for some Kerouac. But at the office, I play with the supplies. Keep the door shut to beat out the lies. I'm still in there, hanging by my skin, keeping things solid, keeping things in while dreaming I'm near gone. I die to be like Jack. Going on the Jack ain't never coming back. I'd sell my damn Selectric for a dose of Kerouac. So, I go down to Greenwich Village, and there's my friend there, and she suggests, hey, why don't we just wear black for the rest of our lives and just never work at anything unless it pleases? Why not? This teases hell. Others did it. Yes. 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 She says, I say, like Georgie O. and Henry M. and his June, our forefathers. But I point out, our dollar don't buy much in Paris. But says she, don't you see? Neither did their nickel. Yes, 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 yes. smell it in the streets down here. I'll be goddamn if I'll let some inflated dollar dictate my karma forever and ever and ever. Can you see me fly? God. It costs so much to be poor. And at 10 o'clock I say, catch you later. I gotta get up early. Even back then, it got really, really hot. New Yorkers can't handle extremities. They can't handle heat, rain, snow, heat. I can't even tell you about it, except to say that I hear bananas blackening, tempers screeching, and feet in sponge tar that used to be the street. I can't even talk about it. Except to say that a man in a God Loves You t-shirt slid past me and he had on Argyle wool socks. Lord, we're dying! The last melting masses of us baking in those squealing boxes, breaking on the way down to the molten core. And then we harden up in the daily refrigeration, burn, melt, freeze. I smell sweet childhood Florida, Christmas vacation. I'm delirious with the dream of a tree away. A 10-cent breeze in Michigan. Dead of summer. New York City. Sunburn index 9. I don't even want to think about it. Okay, now comes the part that's supposed to be really fun. That was fun. Thank you guys. That was really nice. They were great. They were great. Okay, so then now we're going to do the Then Came Brooklyn. And we're all playing in this one. Including Brian and Tony. I gotta find it. Brooklyn. You know, I don't know how many, probably some of you have lived in New York, you've lived in New York, and in fact, I didn't go before 14th Street before I lived there for about 10 years. I mean, I didn't really know. And then once I went below 14th Street, I couldn't go back. And then I moved to Brooklyn. Yeah, if you're in New York, you're gonna get it. It's just, you know, Upper West Side is great, but nobody can live there now. I mean, it's all Airbnb. Okay. Start with this.
Walking, 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 walking,
You're young. You walk around old Manhattan. Look left, look right, down the canyons of power. The Empire State Building, your compass, Fifth Avenue, a straight down the center, and see how a girl from Michigan comes to feel. She could plop right down on a Times Square curb as if she's in her own backyard. West 56th Street between 9th and 10th. The dance belts in Hell's Kitchen. 3 roommates. Dormitory style. The super on the ground floor hoards statues of plastic saints and hangs all of her clothing on a rod in the doorway. This is no pajama party. She's pretty good. Laurel's on a soap opera. She's pretty good. She's pretty good. Barb makes puppets way downtown. And I'm on a game show with Soupy Sales one time. Anything on the pyramid. Anything on the pyramid. Anything on the pyramid. I had the best migraines in acting class, and once I met an agent. I mean, she said she was an agent. She tried to talk me into trying out for a movie with John Travolta. But the problem is, in the scene, you would only see the back of my head. Because I was giving a blowjob, and I said, well, I don't want to do that. She said, but it's John Travolta. Because I was giving a blowjob, and I said, well, I don't want to do that. She said, but it's John Travolta. Because I was giving a blowjob, and I said, well, I don't want to do that. She said, but it's John Travolta. Wait here, she said. She brought me in to meet a man with a camera. He has seen something in your face, she said. He wasn't looking at my face. He wasn't looking at my face. He wasn't looking at my face. I'm walking downtown. I'm walking downtown. Manhattan. At West 44th Street and 9th Avenue, there was a brick wall, the scariest place in the business of show. People either laugh at you, with you, or not at all. Just drinking and talking to 5 people until 4 a.m. Some of them got their own TV show. Some of them got their own TV show. Some of them got their own TV show. Hey, this bird's on a taxi. And the cab driver's eyes are big as saucers, and he snakes his way into a vacant lot, and he starts driving. Stop! I said, take your money. And I'm a walking, and I'm a walking, and I'm a walking, and I'm a walking, and I'm a walking downtown. Yes, you walk. And you walk around old, mad Manhattan. Look left, look right, down the canyons of power. Empire State is your compass. Fifth Avenue is a big stripe down the center, and you just may feel that you could plop down on the curb in Times Square. East Side. Now that's another country. East Side, West Side. All around the town, full of airline stews, doing Sunday brunch in minimal grades. Irving never used his kitchen, which got dusty because he had a cheeseburger in the Greek diner every day. 33rd and 3rd, wearing leotards, hoisting a tray.
I was a bad waitress.
Too many trips across the room. I'd walk to the moon to fetch a fork. The gray-haired maitre d' would put you to punish you in the coat room. The young girl he called his fiance had the best section.
How'd she get herself into that mess?
And later you get home, and the dimes and the quarters are thrown all over the floor. The green paper money smells like the perfume of someone's leather wallet, and you're dancing to the jazz station. Throwing money in the air late at night. 5s, 10s, sometimes 20s, and I'm a walking. Walking across town, there was an office supply store with a 2-headed taxidermy goat standing in the window. Where I went to buy myself a typewriter, I sold out to go write bank ads and work for an advertising executive who had golf clubs printed all over his pants. And I'm walking. Now, Central Park West. I'm going home. The street lights are coming on. And suddenly I hear. Two small, shadowy faces pop up between cars, and oh no, I wouldn't let my purse go. I got a baseball bat right in the face, breaking my glasses. The ambulance came, and I spent the night under cold neon lights in the emergency room. Still, East 6th Street was my very first artist loft. A young man with a Beatles accent wearing a box covered with squiggles walked up to me.
So what have you just done, Jeff?
I am Bride of Kerouac, I said. He said,
I am noise. Pathetic. I am noise. Pathetic.
oh, I'm a walking. I'm a walking. I'm a walking. I'm a walking. I'm walking around. Walking below 14th Street was a new country. Ride the bus over the Brooklyn Bridge just at twilight. Turn around, look back. The Empire State is a gleaming toothpick to the sky. The canyons of power are a lost fever dream, and you leave Broadway and Times Square to their Disney destinies. Next stop, Brooklyn. Next stop, Brooklyn. Then came Brooklyn. Then came Brooklyn and beyond.
I was a bad waitress. Home party. I am noise. So what have you just done, Jeff? Looking at my special anything on the pyramid.
Marjorie Van Halteren, everybody. Hello, friends. And we're gonna do one last piece that we like to do at these kinds of shows. It goes by different names for different people, free for all, whatever, the scrum, as I like to call it. But we want to bring up a special guest joining us. David Miller is going to join us on pocket trumpet.
Oh, pocket
And so once again, special guest tonight, David Miller joining us, Marty Belcher, Tony Brewer, Brian Price, Marjorie Halteren, Cicero, Norbert Herber. Here's our last, I'll say goodnight afterward. We'll be congenial and convivial and all that afterward. But we're just going to do a quick thing here with everyone. Yeah. Okay.
Who has the clock?
Here's the clock, and then clock, and then clock.
Yeah,
That could be enough.
we'll figure it out. Strange laugh.
My father was dead. My father wakes up every day. Goes to a job that he hates. My father wakes up every day. Goes to a job that he hates. Have I heard so? My father wakes up every day, goes to a job that he hates. And I've heard so. For 7 years lived in this country. My mother wakes up every day and goes to a keyboard and types for 12 hours straight. That hurts her. physical, the more in the soul. Gosh. 70% of people hate their jobs, and 53% hate their boss, but everything's gonna be great and okay when you finally get that brand new sweater from Ross. This is a slave wage that's exchanged for mere freedom. Freedom not freedom not to die alone and cold with nothing to hold. No boats or clothes or shoes or whatever. The Grim Reaper's there, a sight of falls, he said. It's nice of you to finally show up for You didn't think you're gonna make it, did you? You didn't think that you were gonna make it, did you? You didn't think that you were gonna make it, did you? It's cold outside. You've been sitting there naked, and if your toes get too cold to hold you up, you won't cry. You won't cry. Your toes get too cold to hold you like you won't cry. You won't warn, you won't cry. But fuck, wait, God. Without watching my life go back, a third of it's sleeping. A third of it was in a place like being another third. Do you know what I mean? Hello. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Without watching my life go by, God. Without watching my life go by, a third of it's sleeping. A third of it working in a place like being in the other third. Without watching my life go by, a third of it sleeping, a third of it working at a place where I'm getting another third of it. Without watching my life go by, will I die? Without watching my life go by, a third of it sleeping, a third of it working at a place where I'm getting another third of it. Without watching my life go by, will I die? Will I die? Without watching my life go by, a third of it sleeping, a third of it working at a place where I'm getting another third of it. You gotta be happy. Without watching my life go by, will I die? Will I die? Without watching my life go by, a third of it sleeping, and a third of it working at a place you ain't getting, and the other third of it. You gotta be happy. My father wakes up every day and goes to a job that he hates.
Once again, thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for coming out for the first meeting ever in person of the Electroacoustic Poetical Society, headed by Marjorie Van Halteren. Thanks so much to ORTET for being our house band for this evening. Please come back tomorrow. We're going to do a workshop. It's very informal, very freewheeling workshop. Bring pieces to read, bring an instrument, and we'll have some fun. Thank you all for coming tonight. Really appreciate seeing everybody out tonight. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
So this record has conflict. Control. So I can load the file. Yes, I know. Yeah, so Tony could record those areas, email it to me. I can load it up as a content.
Yeah, so recording it.
Yeah, back to control. So that feels pretty close.
Yeah, we did.
Feels pretty close to.
Oh, different. Good, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's not as good as like my net some that's the record. That sounding even better. But it's amazing how well we got
I like this new tripod. It really does the trick.